Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 10 out of Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. For this video, I'm going to tell y'all about the story when I got slammed. I'm talking about scooped up inside of the county jail. Now, y'all that seen me originally on Lockdown 23-1, shout out to Death. I told the story about the time I fought Solo, which was a higher up blood member. And he was an older homie. He was in his 30s at the time. I was 18 years old. We fought. It didn't work out for me. I saw him. I'm ready to go. All of a sudden, it was just a blur of, fists and a foot came up. I got kicked on some MMA shit. It was just crazy. It didn't go my way, but I got the respect because I still got in there. And I fought. And after that moment, I was walking around with my chest puffed out because I fought someone that was obviously more experienced than me, higher up than me. I had a lot of respect for the individual that I fought and a lot of respect for how it played out and why it actually happened. It was kind of like my first test of hot. And every time you go through something like that, you get a sense of pride because you can see the respect you start to get. When you're inside of a dorm and you've never had a confrontation, no one really knows where your heart is at. And when something like that happens and you handle yourself accordingly, how you're supposed to, or just, how people assume you're supposed to handle yourself, be the tough guy, get in there, get your ass whooped and win, whatever it is, you start getting respect from a lot of people that normally never really looked at you twice. So, after the situation, I'm thinking I'm good. I'm thinking I'm tough. Like, yeah, I fought Solo. Nah, what's up? And we got someone new inside of the dorm. And this kid, he was, I believe he was from Cross Fletcher. He had tattoos on his arms that said, 5 popping, or he just had the number 5s and stars. So we quickly picked up on that. And, me and someone else, another one of the homies, we got sent over by Solo to go and ask him about the tattoos. So we asking him, and he's saying he ain't blood, but he's affiliated with him on the street. He knows a lot of them in Cross Fletcher. I don't believe I knew any of the ones that he knew, but I do think he knew some of the ones that I knew. North Tampa, you're going to know a lot of people. In Tampa in itself, if you gangbanging, it doesn't really matter which side. Everyone's usually connected in some way, shape, or form. So, we knew some of the same people, you know what I mean? But I don't think I knew directly who he was talking about. We just knew like neutrons in common just from being in the hood. Now, we go and report back to Solo like, nah, he's saying he ain't that, but he's affiliated. He knows them. And Solo's like, well, he got the tattoos and he's saying he affiliated. So we need to press that because if he's going to act like he's affiliated with us, he needs to be held to the same responsibility and standards as us. If we go, he goes. If we eat, he eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not just going to say you're affiliated for the look of things, just to rock the jersey, but then you don't want to actually play in the game. So he went out on the rec yard and Solo was like, go tighten them up. So me, I just fought Solo. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like, big homie ain't fucking off. He's sending me to go tighten them up. I gotta go tighten them up. You know what I mean? And I was excited because when you don't fight in county, like when you first go to county, you have this buildup inside of you. At least I did. I can't speak for everyone. But you have this buildup inside of you that at some point in time, a confrontation is going to happen. And what you do in that confrontation can play a major role in how everyone views you from that point on. How you handle the physical confrontation, even if it's just verbal. You got to stand on yours. And you're waiting for this moment to come. And I had already fought a couple of times, and then I just fought Solo. So at this time, like, I'm not even caring. I'm just looking for the next fight because it's just something to do. It's like I'm not worried about nothing, whatever. So I'm like, hell yeah, let's get it. So I slide outside, and he's on the wall. He's on the rec yard wall standing there. And my dog is standing right to the side of him. I believe it was Kareem, the same one that fought Solo after me. So Kareem's standing next to him. I walk up, I kick my slides off, and then I look at him, I'm like, hey, bro, tighten up. So he looks, he's like, he gets off the wall. What you want? You want to tighten up, bro? You want fade, bro? I'm like, man, tighten up. So he kicked off his slides. We go to bumping. It was probably, I don't even know, maybe a half a second or a whole second. It was so quick. It was just punches thrown. I threw him. I don't even know if he threw him. And all of a sudden, he just disappeared. So I'm just like, he's gone. Where is he? I feel something pick me up. I'm looking at the fucking roof. Now, in this moment, in this very small moment, things just seem to slow down. Because it was nighttime at the time. And there's usually clouds. You can't see any stars. But I can see the cage at the top of the rec yard. And then I remember it was really close. And then it started to go down. And then I caught myself and boom, I realized I got slammed on my shit. I'm like, oh, this isn't this isn't going how I want it to go. But I caught myself, so it's not like he just slammed me down off the floor. It wasn't that dramatic. Caught myself, hit the floor. He's like standing over me trying to swing. He isn't hitting me. I'm swinging up trying to hit his ass. I think I hit him on like the side of the head. Kareem breaks it up. We stand back up. And then Kareem pretty much just deads the shit. He's like, y'all squash that shit. Y'all squash that shit. And he just lets them know, like, nah, we just wanted to make sure you was finna fight. It wasn't even a big fight. It wasn't like a major thing. I was tight. I kind of wanted to run it back. But Solo was like, nah, we just wanted to make sure he was finna fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know how much fighting he did, but he skied the shit out of me. And I just remember seeing, like, oh, and then coming back down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Now, in that small moment, we gained a little bit of respect for him, obviously. You know what I mean? And he, like, was cool with us. You know, he got in a circle. We started chilling with him, talking with him. We roasting each other. We hanging out. We eating together. It's just something like you want to make sure somebody is going to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't necessarily have to win, but the fact that you're going to fight makes a difference because we at least know that you have heart. So it isn't about the victory. It isn't about, you know, I got put onto my back. You get over that with pride. You know what I'm saying? Because your pride is your downfall. You learn that very early on. And a lot of situations on the street, for instance, there was a kid that got into 3 different fights on the street in Tampa. They fought the first time, he got whooped. They fought the second time, he got whooped. Matter of fact, it was 2 fights. The third time, they were supposed to link up and fight again, the same 2 people. The kid that lost the 2 fights brought a gun and shot the dude. At that moment, he most likely knew, like, I'm not going to win this fight, but everyone's looking at me like I just keep getting whooped. I need to do something to the next level. So he shoots him, he takes his life, now he's in prison. You know, some of my greatest learning experiences have been through loss. Whether it's losing a fight, losing a game, losing a friend. I've been able to be most affected by loss because the victory, it's great. When you win, it's great. It's a great feeling, but it doesn't last to me like losing because when you lose, it just stays on your mind. It's something that you regret, something that you wish didn't happen. And some people can be consumed by that, especially by their pride. Like, I have to get back. I have to do something. And some are able to learn from the situation. Some are able to understand why they lost, how to prevent it from happening again, or how to just grow as an individual and not let it bother you in a sense, understanding that you lost the fight, you didn't lose the war. You lost the fight, but you lived to see another day. So we didn't have pressure that we fought. And a lot of times, especially in prison, we fought our own people all the damn time. Whether it was violations, just getting our hands up, just we're pissed off at each other. We got a bump. It is what it is. But me and dude were cool. We were cool for the remainder amount of time that we were in county. And then everything switched when he got to prison. So we actually ended up at the same prison together. Sumter CI, this must have been the summer of 2013. And I was in confinement at the time. They brought him into confinement. I'm looking out of the cell and I'm just like, you know, who is that? You know what I mean? Like, this isn't, he looked familiar, but he don't look familiar. And I got taken out of the showers, and I think that's the first time that I saw him. Either that or we got taken out for rec because they keep your picture outside your door. And I looked at his picture. I remembered his name. But all of a sudden, this kid's whole face is tatted up. Like, he's got a cross right here. He's got shit by his eyes, on his forehead. Like, his whole face is tatted. I didn't remember in county jail him having any tattoos on his face whatsoever. Like, I don't remember none of that. So we come back or whatever, we get on the door and I shout out to him. I'm like, yo, what's up? Da da da. And someone else shoots me a kite. Somebody from the same area I'm from in North Tampa shoots me a kite or whatever. And basically puts me up on beat about what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Because he came in screaming some blood shit. But I just met you in county jail not even 3-4 months ago. You wasn't a blood. You was just affiliated. You know what I mean? Like, you wasn't full on banging. You never got out of county. So unless you came home in county jail 3-4 months ago, then you ain't official. So it's like, who brought you home in the county? But when I get the kite and then I get at him on the door, I'm like, what's up with it? Nah, bro, I banned blood. You know that, bro. We was in a bounty together, blood. We was in the dorm together. Da-da-da. You know I'm homie. But you wasn't talking about you blood in the county. You were talking about you was a fucking affiliate. 550. Like, what is you talking about? Now you homie? And it wasn't even that was a big deal because you'll have people get brought home in the county. I don't necessarily agree with it because I don't feel like there's any organization or structure within the county. The motherfucker will bring you home. He'll be like 30-something. You'll be 20-something or 18. You're thinking he's big homie. Y'all will never talk again because you don't see the man again. He gets sentenced to 20 years. And then you get out thinking you this, that, and the third. You don't know shit. You're not in contact with anybody. And then everyone's looking like, what the fuck is this? But, you know, in his situation, it wasn't just the fact that he said he was a blood, but now he's talking about he got all this rank. Like, I forget what he said, like, exactly, but he's like, oh yeah, I'm this, da-da-da-da-da. How the hell are you that? And you just became a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you go from, you just started playing the game to you 5th prestige. How does this happen? You hacking? You cheating in the game? Like, this doesn't make any sense, bro. You just got to the top of the stats, but you just became that. So it's like, the respect that I had for him in the county jail, it diminished because in the county jail, it was nothing more than proving that you can fight. And proving that you can fight isn't always enough. That doesn't make a person solid just because they can fight. Just like there's people that will stab you and shoot you. That doesn't make them bout it necessarily. And that doesn't make them solid. Yeah, they did the act, but you don't know if they stabbed or shot the person out of fear. You don't know if they even meant to do it, if it was an accident, somebody shooting like this or stabbing like this. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the facts behind it. And violence itself is only one characteristic, and a lot of people are confused in thinking that that one characteristic defines a solid person. A solid individual, a solid character is based upon multiple characteristics. He would fight, but the fact that while in county jail, he decided to get his whole face tatted, or even if he bonded out and then decided to get his whole face tatted and then go to prison, I've seen it happen before. I've seen people stop picking, poking shit the second they get sentenced or they'll get to the reception center. It's almost like putting on a mask. Like, oh, I want to look the toughest I can before I get in here and let people know, like, I don't care about life. I'm tattooing my face. You know what I mean? Like, the intention behind it is questionable because you went from having nothing to fucking Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just went from A to B. And not only that, but going from a so-called affiliate to claiming to be a high-ranking member when we're all the same age and somehow you just bypassed everybody. And I know you weren't banging on the street. It blew my mind. That made me lose a lot of respect for that person. And I pretty much let it be known, you know what I mean? That ain't what it is. You know, he wasn't doing that in the county. He wasn't saying he was that in the county. You didn't say none of that in front of Solo. You didn't say none of that in front of Chico White. You didn't say none of that in front of Kareem. So I don't know why the front is now like, yeah, we're in prison, bro, but you can keep it real. You can come in here and let people know I'm only affiliated, but I want to rock with y'all. You can become official. You don't have to put on the fucking makeup and act like this, that, and the third. And I don't know what happened to him. I don't even know how he ended up in confinement. I didn't hear that he did any gangster shit like hit someone up. I don't know what happened to him after the fact, because he damn sure didn't go to Lancaster. I'm assuming that he went to Lake City and he had an easy bid. But it's a crazy situation. It is a crazy, crazy situation. Oh, and I remember my dog too, the same one that shot me the kite, telling me about him. He's like, "Hey bro, so what happened with y'all?" So I told him, I like, "Man, we had fought in the county." He's like, "Hey, I know you whooped that boy." I'm just like, man. I like, "Bro, that fight was so petty, bro." He was like, "No, Cherry, you ain't beat him." I like, "Bro, he tried to slam, bro. This shit didn't even work out. The shit was boof." And the fight was boof. But at the end of the day, I got put in the air and I came back down. Gravity pulled me back down. But even through losing that, I was still one of the more so solid individuals on that compound amongst my own organization. I never went to prison and acted like I was bigger or badder than anyone else. I lashed out violently because I felt that I had to. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just tat your face up and people assume you're going to do something. You have to start doing things for people to actually acknowledge what you do. It's never held weight to me for someone to tell me about themselves. If you tell, "Oh, I'm about that, I did this, I did that, telling me all these facts, I don't really care. It holds more weight for someone else to tell me about you. Like my brother Brando, free Brando. Before I ever met Brando, I was told about him. "Hey, bro, out of all your brothers right now at Sumter CI, you need to fuck with that white boy Brando. He's solid, 1,000, and he gonna rock, and he's slanging iron." You know what I mean? Like, and he still to this day one of the most solid individuals that I knew. And there were situations where he took losses, he got hit up, he fought, lost, whatever it is. He fought a CO, but he's still a solid person that doesn't affect his characteristics, that doesn't affect who he is as a person. But hey, I just wanted to share this story with y'all because a lot of y'all be under the impression that I've never told a story of me losing before. You just gotta rewind. I've told these stories before. If you haven't seen me on Lockdown 23-1, the very first video, you will hear about Solo and the MMA shit that he was into. And you know, it is what it is. Everybody takes losses. It's just how you progress after the fact. And if you can learn to accept a loss in a fight, you can learn to accept a loss in a job application. You can learn to accept a loss when somebody's cussing at you and you in front of a whole crowd of people and cameras, and you need to learn that self-control and not snap on that person, lashing out in a way that would affect you and affect your freedom. Like I said, through loss, you can gain knowledge and understanding and progress as a human being. So accept the good with the bad. And if you're ever going through a bad situation, just know that when the good comes, it's going to feel great. Everything will change for the better as long as you are focusing on your message, your movement, your progression, what you seek in life. If you're seeking out that negativity, you will find that negativity. Scratch that. The negativity will find you. So seek out the positive in life. If you end up losing, just get back up. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all. Y'all rocking with me. Till next time.